Hey everyone, I'm Josh, and in this video I want to discuss just how weird it is the way humans currently live, like the way that our ancestors have set up societies and how it impacts us now. None of it really makes all that much sense, and here's what I mean. Like, I don't believe for a second that any of us came into this world with this miraculous chance of being a human being just to spend our entire lives slaving away to make little bits of money while the business owners make a ton of money off of our labor and decide to give us like almost none of it. They just essentially hoard everything and let us be basically slaves. Like, a lot of people think slavery went away. It kind of really didn't. Now with how low wages are and that kind of thing, we are basically glorified slaves. Like, how many of you can actually quit your job for a while and be okay? You probably won't be able to. We're essentially slaves to the system, especially if you live in the United States. Like, it is worse than many other countries here because of the economic inequality in the country. And I know a bunch of people are going to get triggered by that. Well, I should say a bunch of people will have like right-leaning views will get triggered by that because many of them have been conditioned to believe that this is the only system that works, capitalism. There's nothing better than that, and yeah. Well, that's not true, right? There is no way in hell that capitalism is the best system that humanity can create. There's certainly something better out there. Even democratic socialism is a far better model because it means we're not living in rampant inequality. It means that people can actually afford a living. They actually won't merely exist to work. It's just so crazy to me to think about how miraculous it is that any of us exist in the first place. Like, truly think about that. Truly wrap your head around that. How insane is it that any of us exist? How insane is it that the universe even exists in the first place? Think about that. There could have been nothing in existence in the world, in the universe. Nothing at all, right? And none of us would have been born to be aware of the fact that there was nothing out there. There just would have been nothing at all. That's not the case. Isn't that crazy? The universe exists, there's trillions upon trillions of stars and planets and galaxies, and we're here on planet Earth to somehow experience all of it. And also, it's miraculous that any of us are intelligent enough to even have these thoughts, to even think about how crazy it is that we exist. Because as far as we know, most animals don't seem to have that capability. Some of them might, but we don't know because we can't communicate with them in languages that we'd understand, so we truly don't know if they have these thoughts. For all we know, we might be the only species on this planet that thinks this way. Isn't that crazy? And then think about the ways in which we live knowing that. Isn't it a bit weird that we basically are all glorified slaves, even though it's a miracle that we all exist? Like, why is this the way that things are set up? Why are we okay with this? It doesn't make any sense. It only makes sense for the people who are like brainwashed pawns for the elites who, I shouldn't even call them elites because that implies that they're better than us when they're not. They're just human beings that either were born into wealth or got really lucky and amassed a ton of it and then became evil and started hoarding it and preventing other people from taking their wealth. And yeah, that's neither here nor there, but basically, isn't it weird the ways in which we live that we all allow this to continue going on, that we allow us to essentially be economic slaves to these systems that are horrible and don't work and only benefit the people at the very top of them, and that the people at the top continuously condition people, especially people who are not as intelligent, to believe that these systems are like the best things out there when they're not. Obviously they're not. Because the only people who truly benefit from them are the people at the very top. And yes, I know that capitalism has created the iPhone and other things like that. Again, we should be able to have better working conditions. We should be able to make a far more livable wage. We should all be able to afford houses and families and that kind of thing, afford the vehicles that we want. Do not tell me for an instant that capitalism is amazing just because it means that we have iPhones and whatnot, even though all that really means is that the people who created it, well, I should say, the business owners who own the businesses that created the iPhones are the ones who make all the profits from it. Like, yes, there's definitely a better way for us to live. There's certainly a way where you can make it so that innovation is actually rewarded. So you would have like indie innovators, kind of like indie game studios out there that tend to make better games than the AAA studios. Imagine if all of us were able to afford a living so we could actually create new things, and they weren't tied to corporations that try to reap all the profits and rig the game so that only they can make money off of it, right? Essentially where you have monopolies that stifle competition so that they can hoard all the wealth, that kind of thing. This is surely not the best system we humans are capable of creating. And anyone who believes that, there's got to be a better way. Like, you've probably been conditioned to believe that capitalism is the best thing out there. Like in the US, how all of us are conditioned to believe that we're free when obviously that's not true. Again, how many of you can quit your job and be fine Not many. Is that freedom? If you're tied to your job to be able to afford a living, are you truly free? Let me know, because I would say you're not. So it's just wild that we've allowed this system to be the way that it is, and especially that our ancestors have allowed it. Although in their case, they get more slack because they didn't have access to the internet that's made all of us a lot more aware of just how rigged these systems are. Like, they didn't have that knowledge, so okay, there was a bit of ignorance there. But in our cases, why do we allow it? Like, why has humanity not just bonded together and gone after the oligarchs and been like, yo, this system sucks. You guys are allowing people benefiting from it while all of us are essentially screwed. You're robbing us of our futures and our children's futures. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost afraid to have kids at this point because I'm thinking, what kind of world am I bringing them into? They're going to be slaves their entire lives. They won't be able to buy a house and other things like that. Like, what would I be bringing them into? The only thing that can make me rationalize having kids is that I know I'm intelligent and I hopefully have good ideas and that I can instill that into them and hopefully they can try making change in their lifetimes. Like, that's literally the only thing I can think of that would make having children worthwhile, because otherwise, I can't even afford them. I don't even own a house or anything. So, like, what future would I be able to create for them? Literally, the only hope I have is that my children will be able to help make the world a better place, and that would be worth it to bring them in here, even though they didn't ask me to bring them in. So, yeah, it's just crazy to me. Like, I wonder how many of you are out there who are thinking in the same way. I want you to know you're not alone. Like, obviously, I think the same way. I imagine that quite a few other people think the same way, and it sucks to basically watch the direction humanity is heading in, where we're allowing the oligarchs, who are like less than 1% of the entire world population, like literally they're less than 1%, and we're allowing them to dictate the direction of all of humanity. We're allowing them to just hoard everything, all sorts of resources, not even just wealth. They're hoarding power, they're hoarding material resources too. They're hoarding almost everything. And there are even some of them who want to hoard like natural resources like water. They would charge you to breathe oxygen if they could. Let that sink in. These people want to charge you for just existing. Is that fair? Is that cool? Should we allow that? If there's anyone out there who is sound of mind and intelligent and actually thinks that this is okay, I would wonder what the heck is wrong with you. Like, I would be thinking, you're not as intelligent as you believe, because how could you ever think this is fine unless you're one of the people benefiting from it, which you probably aren't. I highly doubt any oligarchs are going to be watching this video, right? They don't have the time to, nor do they care. So anyone who found this video, there's no way in hell that saying yes to those questions benefits you. So it's just crazy. And it's even crazier how they've managed to divide humanity to make some people think that what's in their best interest is best for you too. That's crazy, right? That's like wolves telling sheep that it's in their own best interest to have wolves manage the herd, even though of course that means they're going to eat some sheep every now and then, and it's only a matter of time before you are the sheep that gets chosen to be eaten. It's wild, but I just want to make this video to share my thoughts and hopefully find people who think the same way, and just let you know you are part of my tribe. Like, I welcome you to join me on this journey and subscribe to my channel and leave great comments with your insightful thoughts, because you're not alone. We are not alone. But I'm just curious how many of us are out there, because it's at a time where humanity definitely needs to take a step back and think about what the hell we're doing. And it's high time for people to stop taking this treatment that we're essentially treated like cogs in a machine. And the people at the top do not care at all if any of us die. They truly don't. They would kill us all if it meant that they made like $1 more per hour. Like, that's a tiny amount. In the grand scheme of things, it does add up, but they'd be willing to kill us for that. I have no doubt about that. These people at this point, I honestly believe psychologists should study them, because there's got to be something wrong with their brains. They may have even started off normal, but as soon as they amass wealth and power, I imagine that changes a human being's brain. There's no way in hell that they can become that cut off from empathy, that cut off from their humanity, and be fine. Like, that's just, yeah, there's something wrong with these people, because they would be willing to kill all of humanity if it meant that they made more money. And that makes like no sense. What's the point in doing that? Nobody will be able to buy your products or anything, or even if you have all the power in the world, you're ruling over an empire of ashes. What's the point of that? It doesn't make sense. And yet these are the people who are directing the direction of humanity as a whole. They're steering our future. It's mind-boggling. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I'll step off my soapbox here, but I genuinely hope that this video will find the right people who have similar thoughts so that we can all know that, hey, we're not alone. And maybe even in the comments, we can try to figure out solutions to this, because something's got to give. This is unsustainable, and it's going to lead to humanity as a whole no longer existing. We're going to destroy ourselves, and it will be because of the people in power, not even those of us who are affected by it, who really should have quite a bit more of a say in the direction that we go, but due to the way that the corrupted people at the top control power, there's really not much we can do. Like, even voting doesn't seem to matter all that much anymore, because they can probably rig that too. In the US, they can gerrymander it so that your vote doesn't matter anymore. Like, there are so many things they can do to make it so that we're powerless. We shouldn't accept this anymore. But that's all I want to say. Definitely leave your insightful comments down below, and just know you're not alone. But yeah, I truly hope this video was insightful or helpful in some way, shape, or form. And if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more, because I'll hopefully have plenty more coming. I have been focusing more on like short form videos lately, just because they're easier for me to make with my new work schedule. But I'll try to make more of these long form ones where I can really kind of share my thoughts in a far more nuanced way than I can in those shorter videos. But truly hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Arrivederci!